Hello, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tonight, wherever you are across the United States, whether you are settling into bed after a long day, resting on a quiet couch, or simply looking for a moment of calm, you are invited to take a slow journey far behind Earth. There's nothing you need to do, now where you need to go, and nothing you need to solve. Just listen and allow your mind to gently drift. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Feel your shoulder relax just a little more. Let the sound around you fade into background as we begin to imagine something distant, quiet, and strangely beautiful. Tonight we travel to Mars. Not quickly, not very urgency, but slowly, peacefully. As if time itself has softened, we are joining a small robotic explorer, a creation of human curiosity and patience known as Perseverance. It rests on surface of Mars, millions of miles away, under a sky tinted with soft shade of red and gold. And recently, Perseverance heard something unexpected. Not a loud noise, not anything alarming, but something subtle, something that made scientists pause, listen, and wonder. And tonight, we will explore that moment together. Imagine for a moment the journey that brought Perseverance there, a rocket lifting gently from Earth, rising through clouds and into open sky. The power of launch fades quickly into silence of space where there is no wind, no echo, no sound at all. Just stillness stretching endlessly in every direction. Inside that spacecraft, Perseverance traveled quietly, guided by careful calculations. Days pass, then weeks, then months. The spacecraft moves steadily through the darkness, carrying with it hopes of scientists, engineers, and dreamers across the world. Eventually, Mars begins to appear, not suddenly but gradually. A small reddish glow, growing larger over time until it becomes a world, a real place, a destination. Landing on Mars is one of the most delicate and precise things humanity has ever attempted. There is no one there to guide the rover. Every movement, every adjustment must happen exactly as planned. The atmosphere is thin and margin for error is almost non existent. But perseverance descends carefully, slowly itself through the thin Martian air, lowering gently towards the surface, and finally it arrives. For first time, it touches Mars. Mars is not silent in the way was might imagine. It is completely empty of sound, but it is profoundly still. The atmosphere is much thinner than Earth, so thin that sound behaves differently. If you were standing there, your voice would sound faint, almost distant, as though it was being gently carried away. Wind exists on Mars, but it moves softly, brushing across the landscapes rather than rushing through it. Dust shifts slowly. Teeny particles glide across the surface, creating faint whispers that are almost too subtle to notice. For a long time, we thought Mars might be nearly silent. The rover carries microphones, small sensitive instruments capable of capturing sound in a place where sound barely travels. When those microphones were first activated, something remarkable happened. For the first time in human history, we did not see Mars, we hear it. The recordings were delicate, gentle, a soft Martian breeze, the faint crunch of rover's wheels moving across the dusty ground, the quiet hum of its internal system. Nothing dramatic, nothing overwhelming, just subtle, steady presence. And yet it changed everything. Then something unexpected appeared in the recording, a sound that did not quite fit. It was not loud, it was not sharp or sudden. It was more like a faint tune, a soft, repeated vibration that seemed to linger in the background, almost like a whisper that did not belong to any obvious source. Scientists listened carefully. They replayed the sound again and again, slowly it down, filtering it, studying every detail. At first, they questioned the equipment. Could it be interference, a mechanical noise, something inside the rover itself? But the sound remained consistent, quiet but real. Back on Earth, researchers across the United States began to analyze what Perseverance had heard. They looked at how sound travel in a thin atmosphere, how wind interact with object, how temperature changes and affect vibration. On Mars, sound behaves differently than it does here. Higher pitch sound fade quickly, lower tones travel. The thin air changes everything, how sound moves, how it feels, how it perceives. But perseverance here was not mysterious in a supernatural way. It was scientific, understandable, but also deeply fascinating. It was sound of Mars being Mars. It reminds us that discovery doesn't always come with excitement or noise. Sometimes it arrives quietly, slowly, in the form of something almost too subtle to notice. A faint sound carried across a quiet landscape. Now imagine yourself there, not in a dramatic or overwhelming way, but gently, peacefully standing on the surface of Mars beneath a soft, dim sky. The horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. The ground beneath you is smooth, covered is fine dust that shifts with slightest movement. There is no crowd, no traffic, no noise from the modern world, just stillness, and that stillness a sound, faint, gentle, steady. As you breathe in and out, imagine that sound blending with your breathing, a slow rhythm, calm and even, in and out. The quiet of Mars become a place of rest, a place where nothing is urgent, nothing is demanding your attention, just space and time and quiet observation. And as you settle more deeply into rest, you might notice how your own world become quieter. The thought of day began to soften, the tension in your body began to ease, just like the dust on Mars slowly settling. That unexpected sound on Mars was not just a scientific observation, it was a reminder that even in the quietest places, there is still something to discover. Even in stillness, there is movement. Even in silence, there is sound. So, tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine that distant rover still listening, still exploring, still finding meaning in the smallest details, and allow yourself to do the same. Let your breathing slow, let your thoughts quiet, let your mind wander gently across a calm, red landscape beneath a distant sky. And as you rest, remember you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to do anything. You can simply be, just like perseverance, quietly present on another world. Good night.